Good evening, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good night, enjoying life, living life, loving life. I'm hoping this going. I don't see any viewers yet, but gonna hang out, see if I can get some catch some attention here first. Anyway, I wanted to talk to everybody tonight about the trust in yourself. So I'm hoping people will pay attention. Because if you don't trust yourself, who can you trust? And if you're trusting everybody else to do all this shit for you, then how could you possibly be trusting yourself? Don't ask me. I will tell you though, I'm hoping you'll catch on to the concept of that trust within yourself, in that there are three entities involved in a trust. And of course, one is the grantor, one is the trustee, and one is the beneficiary. And in the trust in yourself, there's a few different ways you can explain those trusts. And it's just like all these other trusts out here every day. Every time you trust somebody, you just created a trust. When you signed your kids up for that school and you trusted that teacher to teach your kids, you created a trust. Every time you sign a school trip form, you just created another trust. That kid gets sick and has to go to the school nurse, and you got to fill out a form for the school nurse. You just created another trust. If you're not recognizing these trusts, it's because you don't know the trust in yourself and how to just trust in yourself. And that's why you're trusting everybody else, which proves you don't have trust in yourself. So let's talk about the mind, body, and spirit. The mind, body, and spirit. Doesn't that sound like a trust? You know, it's said that you're supposed to love your Father with all your heart, body, and spirit. Doesn't that sound like a trust? Sounds like a few trusts to me. Honor or love thy Father with all thy heart, body, and soul. And then he says, honor thy father and honor thy mother. And then he talks about honor thy brother, or love thy neighbor as thyself. So we got all kinds of trusts going on. You've got a trust going on with mom, dad, and your neighbor. You got a trust going on with mom, dad, and you. You got a trust going on with your heart, your mind, and your flesh. You got a trust going on with the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. And this is the importance of recognizing the trust and doing so naturally. All these legislative rules and regulations and everything, they've got all the different stipulations, and there's 8 million different codes, rules, and they're gradually making more. And it's all because everybody else keeps on trusting them that they're going to keep writing more legislation because they need it. Because they can't trust themselves to do it, so they got to have somebody else write the laws because they forgot the laws written in their heart. So you got to trust with the heavens, the earth, and your heart. You got to trust with your heart, your mind, and your 2 feet. You got a trust mentioned in the Bible. It says, I grant you the coming into and the going out of. Doesn't say at any point in time. There's no limitation. And it's irrevocable. Doesn't talk about any particular place. Doesn't talk about any borders. And it's irrevocable. It's your right to ingress and egress. It's your right to travel. It's your right to be let alone. If you come upon somebody that's placed a border, do you break down the border and enforce your love on him? Or do you pay attention and realize that maybe there's no trust there? He's not listening to the pure trust, and he's put up a border. What is he afraid of? How come he's not walking in the love and kindness of our Father which art in heaven, and sharing the earthly mother that's been given freely? Instead, he's bordering it off and protecting it like he's a protector of the land. You can't protect the land. You can't sell the land. If you guys don't recognize these trusts and realize they're all developed on being fair, respectful, reverent, being able to agree with each other, having the ability to make that agreement without outside interference, without somebody else putting a border up around you. You know, there's a day that addicts were thrown in jail for coming together with a meeting of the minds. So technically, they made a legislated law interfering with commerce because they defined the capacity of somebody else, proving that they didn't. That wasn't a pure trust. Thank God today addicts can get together with clean hands, clean hearts, clean minds. And maintain that trust that they originally have. Irrevocable. And see, it's like, in case you didn't know, I've gone to many of those 12-step meetings, and they help me a lot, believe you me. But this ain't the problem. So admit it. Admit it. Just like the mask isn't the problem. Just like the coronavirus isn't the problem. The problem's you. The problem's you. You think it's everybody else that's causing the problems, and you're looking to everybody else to give you the remedy when the remedy is within yourself. Only you can create that remedy. So, when they need a shield, you can make a shield. Does it have to cover your mouth? No. It's a face shield per their terms and conditions. And when you think about it right, or in my perspective anyway, it defeats the fucking facial recognition too. So fuck you and excuse my verbiage. Because if you can't walk naturally and use logic and reason, then you are incompetent. And that is the thing they are using against you. Because if you go outside and you wear these masks, tell you something about these masks. Everybody thinks you got to wear this mask around the mouth, all right? Got to cover this part of the face. In the meantime, you know what the AI on these instruments are doing? They're enhancing the facial recognition. If you take this part of your face, almost any facial recognition, if you don't cover that up or skew it in somewhere, almost every facial recognition program out there can discern with a reasonable accuracy who you are. It's one of the most prominent features, is right here. I did a video the other day explaining this. You know, ladies wearing on makeup, if you change your eyeshadow and stuff, the AI can still pick you up. But if you, the thing is, if you've been wearing dark makeup all your life and all of a sudden you changed and went to light makeup, some of these AI programs wouldn't recognize it because of the lighting patterns. Same thing if you put clown makeup on, it's going to change it. If you put dark rouge on your cheeks to highlight or to deepen the color of the cheeks where normally the sun is hitting and brightens it, and changes the tones and stuff, you have a good chance of defeating the facial recognition. The 5G, I explained about the 5G. 5G, everybody's worried about this damn 5G, all up in arms and fears. And this is one of the problems with it, people. You live your life in this cognitive dissonance because you trust everybody else that's putting you in fear. And then you grow up listening to your mom and dad tell you, well, you got to have a Social Security card. You got to have a driver's license. You got to go to school. What, Mom? You give up your responsibility to teach me yourself? You don't have trust in yourself? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's your responsibility. It's your fault. You can go out amongst these people with these masks and do so peacefully and knowingly, knowing that all you got to do is fix the words. Perfect the words. Isn't that what the law is? The words? And isn't that what you're supposed to do, is perfect the law? And in order to perfect the law, you're supposed to use your love? So if you're walking around with a mask without thinking and using your logic and reason, stuck in your comfort, why don't you just go back and sit back on that couch? Start stuffing yourself with all that processed foods, drinking the poison, and watch somebody else's pathetic life on that boob tube while the police stop at the while you watch, duck your head out the door and watch the police stop all around your neighborhood, picking up all kinds of people and wait for them to come to your door. Because if you think they're not coming to your door, you're wrong. They're trying to find out, just like this AI, they're trying to find out who's going to be peaceful and who's not. They're going to find out who's sleeping and who's not. You know, they know when you're sleeping and they know when you're awake. But it sure as hell ain't fucking Santa Claus. And they sure as hell ain't coming to bring you gifts. They're coming to take everything you fucking got. So yeah, if you want to give them everything, go ahead and sit back down on everything you got, and eat everything you got, and drink everything you got, and deserve everything you get. Mom kept trying to tell me, Keith, how you ever going to learn how to fly like an eagle if you keep hanging with that flock of turkeys? Who the fuck is she to call turkeys? She needs to wipe them spectacles off. And learn how to trust in her own damn self. Because she's one of the ones out there trusting in the police so much that she's trying to convince me that they're my authority. Sorry, I'm not going to deal with it. I will tell you, I did manage to, I sent her a quick little note and email the other day apologizing, letting them know I loved them. Never meant any disrespect. Don't want any in return. I completely understand. They don't want to communicate, so be it. Well, it went by a few days and no response. And my mom and dad are just like me. They have long-standing things in their life. And like me, I've got the same email for 20 plus years. Pretty solid email. Ain't had to worry about changing it. And so I know mom and dad, because that's where I got it. So despite the fact that my own mom and dad are caught up in all this cognitive dissonance, don't let that skew things. My mom and dad are great people. They took upon themselves many things in their life. And I'm appreciative of those. But there are things that are not equitable. And I'm taught he's a respecter of no persons, and most everything done in person is not equitable. It has equitable characteristics, and you can come as near as may be to equity as long as two parties are willing to come to a meeting of the minds and make terms and agreements of that. So even then, it's still a contract. This is why it's important to listen to the message and not the messenger. If you listen to everybody tell you that I'm a lunatic and I'm a drug addict and a drunkie and all kinds of, I got a criminal rap sheet this damn thick, go ahead and believe it. I don't give a rat's ass. Tell them something they don't know about me. Remember that one? Anybody ever watch 8 Mile? Yeah, Eminem. You should try that one too. It's a pretty cool movie. I urge you people to learn how to trust yourself. If you can't look out for the best interest of yourself, how the fuck can you do it for your children? If you keep worrying about the Title 4D programs and how to find them in the background, then you're researching the wrong things. You're fighting the wrong thing. You're still fighting yourself. Because they can't do a goddamn thing to you if you put the truth out there. In the proper manner. In peace. This is the problem Lotus had. She didn't know how to go out there in peace and resolve the situation her own damn self. Through logic and reason. She let her get her emotions in the way. Can't do that, people. You have a mind in your heart. Do you know that? There's an actual physical thing that they evidence as a mind through their definitions. It's neurological material in your heart. We're automatically natural born transceivers. We have to have two places. That little electrical current that can go up to this big old transformer and transform it into any figure, image, likeness, form. Ye are gods, and ye can transform a mountain into a molehill. I don't know why you don't listen to this stuff. Oh, that ain't true. That's impossible. The hell it is. water. You guys, everything, all this education's got you all skewed up because, like I said earlier, mom and dad trusted the public education system and failed in that trust, and so did the public education system and everybody else. But they didn't give a rat's ass because the important one that can't fail is mom, dad. Because if they fail in looking out for the best interest of the children, then it's a community concern to look out for the best interest of the children. A man that's got everything to lose, and they're coming for him for his children, will take his children and give up everything else. At least that's what I'd do. By whatever means necessary. Better learn how to trust. By giving up everything, I've already gained everything. Because now I know there's nothing to lose. Get it? What are you guys afraid of losing? What is it you got that you cherish so much that you wouldn't do that for your children? That you wouldn't get off your ass and do your own research? I made a comment the other day on a post. Somebody asked a question. And most of you know me having done God, I'm going close on 20,000 hours of research in the last 4+ years now. Non-stop. And my companion, who's watching at the time, bedridden, had surgery yesterday on her foot. And she doesn't get a lot of time with me either. Because in looking out for her best interests, I've got to make sure that I maintain my best interests. And my best interest right now is helping certain people in my life. Certain people in our lives. So there are precedents and responsibilities. Positions of trust that demand the highest care. And I do it gracefully and willingly, humbly and lovingly. And I no longer have children of my own. So I'll tell you, many times I've told you before, your children are my children. Your brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters. Your moms and dads, my moms and dads. Your grandparents, yep. Nieces and nephews, yep. Cousins, yep. I accept the trust that he granted. And I expect you to step up as trustee for my benefit. Just like you all want me to step up as trustee for your benefit. So if you want to ask me a question, and I give you my research and source, don't respond to the post 1 minute later, what's this about? What's this mean? Shows to me you're not willing to take responsibility to yourself, and you're just going to continue believing people, even though I've told you, don't believe the government, don't believe me, don't believe your neighbor, don't believe your brother, don't even believe your mother. Do your research and learn for yourself. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, not for lack of somebody else's knowledge. That my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, meaning your knowledge. And you need to step up. See, this whole thing about the harmonic resonance. Harmonic resonance of the earth is supposedly somewhere around 6.83. That's what it's supposed to be. Accordingly, I don't know. That's what somebody else says. And so let's go with that. The thing is that naturally, and this goes to reason in accord with balances and cycles of nature, and knowing how vibrations work, sometimes they go out of range, and there are reasons and causes for them to go out of range, and idiotic people walking around refusing to stand up and just submitting to wearing a mask, and then want to stand up and fight against other people that won't wear a mask. And just like the 5G, it's raising that resonant frequency in mankind. And whereas we were trying to reach the resonant frequency of Mother Earth from this side, now we're on this side. Boom! You realize how close you're getting to war by acting in war yourself? You better learn how to step up in peace, because you ain't going to come into equity unless you live equity. Get it? And if you think equity means you can go around living your entire life just stupid as fuck, watching somebody else's life on a TV, munching down your processed foods, drinking your poison liquids, and listening to everybody else and not giving a rat's ass, you're wrong. You have a duty. You have a duty to me. Just like I have a duty to you. To treat each other in fairness and equality. Now, I'm not asking you to step off your life and sit on your ass in front of a computer for the next 4 years, pretty much most like I've done. But there are things that you need to start doing. Yeah, there's another one, 432. Resonant frequency. That's one of the harmonic balanced frequency or tones that the musicians use to get a really nice sound. And it adds up 432-9. And it even looks a little off kilter. But if you take one from this side of the scale and put it back over on the other, guess what? We got 333-9. But it's balanced. You ever listen to 333? Things to think about, people. When it comes to trying to do all this stuff in court, it's like my brother Derek Gonzalez says, if you can go into that private chamber and ask the judge if he can recognize the trust, he better say yeah. I recommend doing your research diligently enough so that you can express every trust every moment in your life. Because while you're standing alongside of the road with 9 motherfuckers pointing guns at you, because some judge wrote an order, because some CPS worker and her special detective wanted to come out and check on concerns about a child, because grandma had concerns. That's grandma, the judge, 2 CPS workers. That's 13 trusts right there. Plus you have a fictitious entity known as a state. You got the fictitious entity known as a city. You got this fictitious entity known as a county. You got the fictitious entity known as CFS. You got the fictitious entity known as the United States. You got the fictitious entities all over the motherfucking place. And you're trusting them all to do it. I urge you to put your trust back in God so you can fix the words. And don't get me wrong, folks. Because like I said, I love you with all of my heart. But that doesn't mean I have to sit here and be a pansy ass. I want you to step up. I'm telling you, step up. I need you to step up. We need you to step up. We need you to start trusting in yourself so that then you can trust in others. So they can teach you how to trust in Mother Earth. So that together in that trust you will realize the true trust in our Father which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Ye are God's, yet vengeance is mine. And he has a funny way of working his will through our good works. Our good works can be his vengeance in peace if we come together in trust, educating each other, learning from each other, educating each other's children, each other's brothers, each other's family members, friends, neighbors, as if they were our own. Because what is done is what ought be done. There is nothing new under the sun. And ye are all children of Israel, so long as you follow his word. And hey, even if you're one of those 9 motherfuckers standing on the side of the road pointing guns at me and my brothers and hunting people down, simply because you get to defame them by a definition called fugitive. I hate your actions. I love you. And I hope one day you learn. But if it's going to be my vengeance, I'm going to defeat you without fighting. I'm going to let people see you for who you are. Judge ye not, lest ye be judged the same. And if you're going to go around professing to minister his gospel while wearing some fucking clown suit, hiding and evading from the truth, while you administer legislative twisted words, disgusting. And you people allow them simply because you keep continuing to trust them. I quit trusting them, said no, I'm done. And again, I comprehend a lot of you guys can't do what I did, just drop everything and be done with it. Say, okay, I'm going to put my all into this. Because literally, that's what I did. But in so doing, I have everything. I have no wants. I have no desires. I have love and expressions. When it comes to these trusts, you have a grantor. The first grantor is him. Now, he created the skies, the waters, and Mother Earth. Mother Earth is his trustee of life. And we are beneficiaries of that life. He cast his seed into Mother Earth. That was his grant of assignment to Mother Earth. We were cast of Mother Earth. In being cast of Mother Earth was our grantor in that sense. So now we are supposed to be trustee in prosperity and abundance. For all to benefit, including ourselves. That benefit that we're supposed to receive is ye are gods, ye are creators. You get to benefit by being a creator of an image and likeness of your own damn self. Placing your own self in the shoes of grantor. Granting your seed to your companion, who then acts as trustee for 9 months plus 18 years. While you're at home and away, your position in that grant is to protect the home, both at home and away from home, not in the home. When your children have children, you now have a generational skipping trust, one of the most protective trusts, because it means your seed will continue on or has a better likeliness of continuing on. If you make a living will and you don't have that third generation, and your children don't heed your words, and either don't bring forth children or don't bring forth children in the name of God, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, then they're most likely going to perish for lack of knowledge. This is why it's important to have that third generation, because as a grantor, this one right here, as long as they're in good works, this one right here gets to pass on the knowledge to this one, regardless of whether this one's paying attention or not. Done peacefully and rightly, it's good. The problem comes in situations like that when grandma thinks that she has knowledge better than these people and just dismisses these people out of the trust. That is the most heinous trust. If this education is false, ye are not to remove an error. So that generation skipping trust can work both ways. Usually it's the most protective way because the family loves the family no matter how many generations. Usually the more generations, the tighter the family gets. That's why they're separating the families. And you allow them to do it because you trust in all this shit instead of yourselves. It takes a village to raise the children, right? Then why isn't it when the older people are done with the manual labor type things in life and they get onto their upper years, why isn't they don't go into a ruling situation or a guidance situation where they can help guide their younger community members in raising their children? And that guidance is done by removing the elderly care homes and the kindergarten and daycare and schooling of the children by then bringing those two separate generations together while that other generation's out there working. That's the concept behind it takes a village to raise a child. Because the trustee's got duties. He's got to go take care of affairs. So now you have a grantor sitting around and a beneficiary sitting around with nothing to do. And everybody else pointing their fingers at both of them, telling them what they're supposed to do and violating for all offenses against legislated twisted words. And this is why it's so important to learn about trust. Where it comes from, what the capacities are, who the trusts are with, what their positions are in that trust. Particularly your own position, because if you're grantor, you're the one that determines the positions of the others in those trusts. So when you learn how to act appropriately as a beneficiary and quit going out into public and causing disturbances because of the mask, when you learn how to act appropriately enough as a beneficiary that you can go out into public and even have fun with it, enjoy your position as beneficiary in peace, and wear the mask, as they said, and instead of wearing a particular mask that other people choose to wear because that's what they're trying to sell, medical equipment, go to the damn costume store and start buying those masks. Make sure you cut the mouth part out so you can breathe real well, but it's a face shield. It's a face mask. You got to wear the fast. You look at them signs. Not one of them tells you to cover your mouth and nose. Not a one of them. Is it natural, logical, and reason that a live, breathing being should cover his mouth and nose? No. It does make reason that if you do cover your mouth and nose, go ahead. That AI is just going to learn how to recognize you better with all those different shapes and stuff by zoning in on the most important part of the facial features that it needs. Be right back. Because I got a nice handy dandy shield. It's pretty neat, pretty flexible. Works real good. I can even see. I breathe real good. It's shielding my face, but it's not covering my mouth and nose to the point where I can't breathe, or I'm having a hard time breathing in any sense, or that I'm breathing back in all the carbon dioxide, because it's so, like I said, it's so open. It's actually the only hindrance I really kind of recognize is the fact that I got this long hair that acts like a hound dog, so that when I'm smelling things, when scents are caught up in the air, it catches up in my hair and I can smell it better. So, but when I got this down, it kind of deflects some of that air movement. That's all. But that's logic and reason. So then when you learn how to move up out of the beneficiary position, because now you learn the duties of trustee and how important it is for you to stand up for your fellow man and yourself, so that you can show that you can commune with another woman, and under that trust of our Father which art in heaven and the Mother Earth and what she supplies for us for that procreation, so we can create our own legacy in his name. So that then you can look out for the very best interest of that legacy. Is that not how you prove you are looking out for the best interest of that legacy? Is by standing firm in the liable position of a trustee who will put his life on the line? I've been entrusted with all of life. Again, I repeat, your children are my children. Your brothers and sisters are my brothers and sisters. Your moms and dads, your nieces, nephews, cousins, all of them. And whether you like it or not, funny hat, long hair, I'm yours. Yes, Kate, exactly. Multi-generation. You know, that's how the Amish survive. The Amish don't have these huge, massive communities. They live generation after generation. I even spoke on this too. Some of the Amish communities being quite small, they tend to inbreed with some of them cousins. And so in some of those communities, it's even common to entrust a foreigner to come mate with their women. And this is actually one of the concepts of God. Go forth and build nations of men. And so men would go out to foreign nations and bring back foreign women. This is how trusts work. It's through knowledge and experience. And if you're not going to get up off your ass, do the research, and take action, then I pity you. I love you, but I pity you. You want to step up and start taking part of that knowledge? I'm going to do everything I can to both help you learn and learn from you. I'm humble. I don't know it all. I don't know near enough as what I should. I don't know near as much as I could. Um, I have my faults. Forgive me. And I automatically forgive you, whether you forgive me or not. But I refuse to waste my time on people that aren't willing to be part of it, that aren't willing to step up and be that beneficiary, that aren't willing to step up and start learning how to be that beneficiary and show it in, on, and for the record. Because in, on, and for the record, if I give you information and 30 seconds later you're coming back and asking me what does that mean, and it's a 10-page dissertation on how to construct a will, I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm not going to sit there and fucking read it to you. Kate, I'm working hard. Tell everybody I love them. Everybody say hi to Kate Lee. She's one of the ones I'm talking about. And I love you, dear. Excuse me while I get emotional. Kate Lee was on that 10 acres, doing everything she could for the best interest of her children and willing to lay her life on the line. While them bastards stood there with guns on everybody. I hope I stand up to it. That the good works that I'm putting forward with my hand will force them to relinquish Mike and bring him home along with the girls. Because, see, all these people involved, they might actually be good people. Loving their own children, their own families. Looking out for their best interest. By any means necessary. Yeah, they may be good people. But they're shitty persons and you shouldn't fucking trust them. Quit signing shit! No more. Quit volunteering. Quit being lazy. And yeah, I did say lazy. If you're not doing his good works with your hands, then you're lazy. If you think this life is all about the monetary profit, then you've forgotten the word of being able to live freely in prosperity and abundance so that you can give freely. If you think it's all about profit so you can turn around and pull money out of your pocket in order to make an exchange, then you lost that concept altogether. Went to that 10 acres and I spent my time out there with these people, these neighbors, these loving and kind brothers and sisters, adorable children. And we learned together. Just like we're told to go forth with 5 gifts and come back with 10. What that speaks of is we're supposed to go forth and help each other in 5 ways. And they'll help us in 5 ways. Go forth and teach 5 skills and learn 5 skills. That's prosperity and abundance. It's foundational in knowledge. It's foundational in reason. Through experience, observation of those experiences, the revelations that you get from your observations of those experiences. And when you practice it and practice it, the more you practice it, the wiser you get. So again, go sit back down on that fucking couch. Flip that fucking boob tube on. Watch somebody else's pathetic life. Stuff yourself with all kinds of processed foods. Drink your poisons and ignore the rest of the world. Or stand up and do whatever you can by any means necessary in your best interest. That's the first step. Admitting you're powerless because you're the one that fucking gave it up. You're the one that fucking trusts everybody else with it. You're not an addict. You're lazy. And no matter what anybody else wants to describe you, you're my brothers and sisters. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. I love you, Kate. Hope to see you soon. Have a good night.